Good evening, Monspawns and Cons. My name is Stuffle, and today we're doing something a little different. My primary objective when making this channel was to be a shiny hunter and showcase my hunts. But, as many shiny hunters are excruciatingly aware, no one can guarantee consistent shiny finds. I am still in the thick of my Galarian Ponyta hunt in Glimwood Tangle, and I have no clue if this is the phase or if it'll take 8 more phases. But I'd still like to put out some more Pokemon related content while we all collectively wait for ZA news. As such, I'm introducing a new series I'm dubbing Is This Too Niche? Where I craft personalized Pokemon teams for whatever media hyperfixation I'm on at the time. Recently, Beware and I have been in the thralls of Fire Emblem Three Houses. I've experienced the full game in DLC, but I have been busy enlightening Beware on what is now one of his favorite games of all time. Currently, he's doing a Blue Lions playthrough, but late last year, he finished his Black Eagles run. As such, the Black Eagles are up first. Unless someone had the hots for a specific character, I think the vast majority of the Fire Emblem community can agree that the Black Eagles are the main characters, and for good reason. With a heavy influx of magic users, political intrigue, and a banger set of character designs, it easily won my heart as my favorite house. But with all success comes controversy. Oh! Look, here she comes now. For our resident Empress's team, I wanted to reflect Edelgard's acute sense of herself. She is very keen on being taken seriously. She wants to be seen as intimidating, cunning, strategic, and capable, and her team reflects that. Her starter, Stoutland, was but a Lillipup when the two met, the young pup's mousy brown fur matching the little girl's hair he met. Stoutland presented a reliable, unyielding love and stability that young Edelgard desperately needed. Ever the loyal hound, Stoutland is acutely in tune with people, and his intuition has guided his trainer through many diplomatic endeavors. Stoutland can often be found at the foot of his Empress's throne. I chose a phalanx to reflect her warmongering, strategic mind, and love for training, victory, and discipline. Hisuian Braviary seemed an essential pick for the head of the Black Eagles, the Hisuian variant nodding to her intelligence and cerebral capabilities. Berserker is an unruly but driving force in Edelgard's team, forcing the others to not take themselves too seriously. In addition, Edelgard's "the end justifies the means" and general brutality are well enshrined in Berserker's nature. Armor Rouge is a guard for when Hubert is performing unsavory duties elsewhere, a stalwart guard and picture of dignity and strength. And Zoroark is to present her duplicity as the Flame Emperor and anti-church dissident. Next is Hubert von Vestra, a man whose taste is acquired, to say the least. It probably would have been easier to select his team based solely on menacingly evil vibe, but I decided to go more for utility than aesthetic. His Mighty Anna is in reference to the accusations Claude and many others throw Hubert's way, that he's just the imperial lapdog. Hubert is a fiercely loyal and pack-minded individual. For him, it is always the world versus Edelgard, and he strives to even out that playing field. Dusk Noir is here as the muscle, to restrain when magic and ability fail. Dusk Noir also serves as a reminder to the deaths the Vestra family have claimed in the name of the Imperial Crown. Gargantical was an indulgent pick on my end. I've recently been watching the Apothecary Diaries, and, spoiler, salt was featured as a way to kill in the show. Thus, Gargantical is the culmination of all killing methodology that would elude the detection of the masses and remain solely in shadows. Asculegion is a counterpart to Edelgard's Berserker in that it exemplifies the idea of the many outweigh the few. Thievel is the representation of Hubert's tendency of trickery and underhandedness, with Espathra being the epitome of Hubert's admiration for Edelgard. Elegant, intelligent, with the capability to abuse strategies to achieve a brutal victory. Next up is Beware and I's favorite, Bernadetta. Her team comp is a little lacking, but that was intentional, I swear. I just know she's skipping out on training her mons. There's only so much room in her dorm space after all. I made sure to showcase her love of carnivorous plants and mons like Carnivine and Victory Bell. Apom was a half prank and half gift from Yuri when she was young. Ever mischievous, high energy, and positive, it initially challenged Bernadetta, but now has become a valued friend and team member. Venomoth's appearance, when it evolved from Venonat, definitely gave her a shock, but now it helps guide her to light when she gets lost. Not to mention a fluffy purple bud to protect her. Her Cinccino essentially raised her as a kid, acting as nanny and guardian when her father proved ill-fitting for the task. Cinccino provides Bernie with comfort, unconditional love, and the occasional swatting when Bernie's behind on her chores. Araquanid was brought onto the team to help with watering her grass types and other plants, as well as to symbolize her desire to be alone in her own territory. He is Ferdinand von Eyre. You would do well to remember that. Buckle up, folks, because this is the least balanced team I've made, sporting 3 fire types. To start, Birdie's team simply wouldn't be complete without a riding horse, and Rapidash's fiery disposition and regality aren't knocked points either. Skeleturge is a representation of Ferdinand's love for the arts and singing. I mean, we all know how he feels about songstresses anyway. Arcanine is a mirror image of its trainer, puppy-like, eager, and feisty as a Growlithe, and dignified, intimidating, and determined as an Arcanine. My favorite on Ferdy's team, and his starter, is none other than Furfrou. I imagine during his school days he styled it in a diamond fashion, and, much like his own hair, the aesthetics were often forgotten with all the work to be done during the war. His Poltegeist is the star of all of his noble tea parties. Weirdeer, however, is the latest addition to his team, a testament to the wisdom that only comes with age and an ardent desire to protect his home and people, as a noble should, after all. The experience for crafting a team for Dorothea definitely took me by surprise. I went in expecting myself to be leaning towards feminine designs, but of the more risque persuasion. Instead, the first one that came to mind for her was Ninetales, a direct counterpart to Ferdinand's Arcanine and a timeless beauty with fire just beneath the surface. Primarina was a given. I mean, come on, opera singer meet opera singer. It's not low-hanging fruit if it fits, right? Meganium became a part of her team after a bouquet of flowers too closely resembled a Meganium to a young, abandoned Chikorita. It now uses its vines to help style and dress Dorothea so that they both can look as beautiful as a flower. Ampharos is a good manifestation of Dorothea's temper and snappiness, a bit more shocking and overall battle-minded. Plus, the glow of Ampharos' tail makes a good stage light for an impromptu performance. Ballet-style Oricorio is one of her many mentors from her time at the Middle Frank Opera Company, a seasoned performer who helped a young Dorothea embrace her inner diva. Her Kricketune likely was her first Pokemon from her youth, coming in quite handy when trying to learn how to tune instruments and her voice. Linhardt is next up on the list, and his team, surprise, surprise, has a bit of a napping, dreaming theme to it. We start off with a very quintessentially Linhardt Pokemon in Kamala, a Mon who specializes in protecting Linhardt during his copious naps, and not a bad test subject for sleep research. Risharna is around to make her trainer's catnaps happy and sweet, and Snorlax is a primo napping buddy who puts up a surprising fight when in a pinch. His Mousehold were once his test subjects, but have since morphed into his research assistants, helping him collect, analyze, and catalog data, as well as dressing him when he's particularly lazy. Credilli is a fossil Pokemon during Linhardt's recent revivification hyperfixation, and appeals to his historical curiosities. Yanmega was his first ever Pokemon, and they met while Linhardt was fishing at a pond. A little Yanma swimming across the water's edge and taking a liking to the sleeping, fishing boy. Petra gave me the most trouble as most of her defining characteristics seemed poorly written. So I had to infer some things for her to make a team befitting such an interesting and lovable character. Her startermon, Torkoal, actually belonged to her mother and was a bit of home she could take with her to the Empire. I imagine Torkoal acting as a hearth for the family when Petra was young and camping with her family. Dragalge, like many other aquatic-themed mons on her team, is a nod to Brigid's various beaches. Dragalge boasts an intimidating but majestic visage, and its poison typing allows Petra's strategy to take the forefront. Sceptile gives Petra a good grass answer to some weaknesses on her team, while also acting as her retainer and advisor. Dodrio is a manifestation of her time in the Empire. When she was young, everything was new, scary, difficult, and overwhelming. Doduo was a chaotic entity in her life, most of her free time chasing him down and trying to keep him out of trouble. As Petra aged, however, she got a grasp on how to deal with Doduo better, and in turn, how to survive and thrive in the Empire. She now has Dodrio wrapped around her little finger. He may be a bit strange and unruly, but he's her closest friend, and the two are emotional supports of the other. Her Gastrodon is also from Brigid, and adds some attack power, as well as an answer to many of the fire types in the Adrestian Empire and Black Eagles. Her Spinda used to be a wild mon who would live at the monastery, like many others. It was desperate to help and be a part of the goings-on at Garrick Mach, but always found a way to make mistakes and bungle things, making the more cruel student populace make a joke of it. Petra took pity on the Spinda and saw her own struggles with the Empire's language within him. She adopted the Spinda, and together the two grew and honed their skills to better shut up their cruel peers. And finally, we have the hot-headed Caspar. Before even going through the favorite Pokemon picker for him, I knew Ditto would be on his team. With a guy so obsessed with training and matchups, Ditto provides the perfect training buddy able to transform into people and Pokemon alike to spar with. Golurk, much like Caspar's post-time skip appearance, is a towering, powerful individual capable of heavy damage. The symbolism of a golem as a war vessel belonging to the son of the Minister of Military Affairs felt like a nice touch too. Big Man Blastoise over here provides coverage for Golurk, and its tanky appearance is beyond cool to Caspar. His Steelix, for a long while, wouldn't listen to Caspar. Caspar had caught it as an Onyx and immediately evolved it because of how awesome it'd make him look to have one on his team. But Steelix was unamused with his childish trainer. It took a long time and a lot of growing up, but the two are now in perfect sync and trust each other implicitly. Caspar's Alolan Sandslash was a necessary pick for me as I love the idea of the hit first, ask questions later guy, with so many weaknesses as the Ice type has. Trust me, it took a lot of restraint not to give him 3 like Ferdy. And finally, his starter, Yamper, was his best bud as a boy, and one can never seem to see Caspar without his trusty Boltund by his side. And with that, the Black Eagles are completed. This was a really fun video to make, and I hope to make more "Is this too niche?" in the future. Feel free to leave a comment with who I should make a team for next. And if you all enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe and follow me on all my socials at many.bio/StuffleShines. And I will see you all as the journey continues.